Luckily, it's only if you look at it like, in a specific angle do you see it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
only from the front 40 or so degrees. Yeah. Do you see the crooked handles? Amazing book. All right.
Oof. Look at those graphic design skills.
Are we all comfortable? We're all good to go.
I'm
Yeah.
not comfortable with that unscented text, but that's fine.
I'm pretty
it
sure
unscented?
it is centered, but the problem is the graphic might not be. But it'll
I tell you what,
be okay, Chris. It'll be okay.
I have to tell the story. Because this will go into this perfect thing. So we got a new cabinet, right? Which my wife built. It's one of those like 10 feet tall IKEA ones, but $1,200 or whatever. She said, "Your only job is to attach the handles, right? Perpendicular level." Do you know V for Vendetta? It's like
Oh, I was deliberate. You did it? Oh,
no.
Oh, okay.
Did you have to drill holes yourself?
I did, yeah. I've got all the kit,
Yeah.
but I knew exactly what had happened. Luckily, it's only if you look at it like in a specific angle do you see it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
only from the front 40 or so degrees. Yeah. Do you see the crooked handles? Amazing.
Anyway,
All right. Let's do a thing. And we're not going to forget this time, Alex and Chris.
That wasn't a regular episode, mate.
it actually was. I blame Chris.
The absolute excuses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of the Old World Behemoths. My name is Alasdair. I just split the name, the word name into name. That was fabulous. My name is Alasdair. I am a Behemoth because I am not going to the next Old Hammer event, unfortunately, on the 12th of March, but I'm still going to paint a dragon, and that's going to be a lot of fun for me. With us this evening, we have special guest Gommo from Old World Rankings.
Thank you for having me again.
You're so welcome back.
Behemoth.
Why are you a Behemoth tonight, Gommo?
Well, I was going to say, actually, I'm a Behemoth. It's all Old Hammer related by the sound of it. I was about to mention that I'm not taking Behemoth to what's it called? Fatal Fall. Yes.
Fatal Fall.
But that's a bit boring. And so what I am doing is bringing I think I'm bringing 3 things that say, no, you're not allowed to play with your toys, 2 of which affect flyers. So I'm excited to see, if it all goes off, I'm excited to see a grown person cry.
5 file sides.
Right. Gommo is
So you can't shoot,
planning.
you can't shoot that, you can't fly that. Oh, next time you can't fly that. So
You're planning on being a Behemoth of bullying, Gommo. That's what
it won't work. It won't work, but it'll be fun.
Not with that attitude. With us, we also have Chris and Alex. Hello, boys. Alex, why are you a Behemoth?
I'm a Behemoth because I'm taking 3 of them to Old Hammer. Even though
Do any of them fly? What's
one
their
of them
movement value?
does. One of them does.
I'm pretty sure it's still movement 8, even with
But
that's
it
the
does.
problem.
Yeah.
They
It
want
does.
them to fly, but they're not going to fly.
Yeah. It drops 2 inches movement. So that's okay. One of them does fly, but I'm sure we'll be going into it later, but we won't blow too much of the lead for the inevitable Tom and I getting on and bashing each other's lists for next week.
Yes, we'll save that one and put it away. Chris, why are you a Behemoth?
I'm a Behemoth because I'm lending the other Behemoth my army for an upcoming event. Got a message from Tom.
How many Noblars does he need?
40. No, 30.
I was going to say,
37?
is this an ogre player lending another ogre player an ogre army?
It is. Tom is still frantically painting his own army to a much, much, much higher degree than my army ever will get to. But mine's painted, so yeah.
The problem is the time it takes you to paint 40 Noblars it takes him to paint 4.
Yeah, correct.
Amazing. Tonight hang on, would you go back, please? Tonight we've got a fabulous episode for you. We, of course, do have Gommo here, and we're going to be talking about the brand new, the best, the most fabulous Old World Rankings tournament software that Alex and I had the opportunity to use at our most recent Legacies Award doubles event. We're going to be gushing about that, asking Gommo some questions about it. We'll talk about all of the potential and the possibilities of the software while Gommo completes his what is it, your press tour, Gommo, going around.
I am, yeah. I mean, depends when this goes out. I guess this week, whatever that date is. What's the date today? 1st of March. I'm doing a little bit of a YouTube tour this week. Up late,
Starting at
up
the bottom.
early.
Starting at the bottom.
Starting
from the bottom and working your way up. And we'll also be talking about the new release for Grand Cathay. Of course, the Square-based boys dropped the rules for us in advance of the Arcane Journal release. So we're very excited to sort of talk about that and maybe some of the implications of that going into Fatal Fall. Right. Now, Alex, you can go to the next slide because we'll thank our page.
Perfecto.
That's well done.
We have a new one.
We do. If you'd like to become a Patreon, thank you, first of all, to all of our patrons. You help support the channel, help support the podcast, and make sure that we can do interesting things with you every couple of weeks. But big thank you to Death1942, Ghosts, Panda Wargaming, Joshua 6, Silver Dave, Gommo, Bonehead, Earl Kent, Ulazed, the Western Sydney Wargamers Boys, The Orange Juicer, Big Daddy H, Torytown 69, Prophet of Sotec, James Alexander, Twin Cursed, Cathay Balloon Man, and Tajay Arson. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. Thank you, of course, as always, to 25 Creative. And a really big thank you this week. You might have noticed a couple of things being slightly different when the episode goes out, but a huge thank you to Mark Fleming, who's provided us with some sounds, some audio, some music, all original compositions. Thank you so much, Mark, for your support. If you want to check out Mark's Instagram, his band, which I was having a look at a little bit earlier on, no, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'll just butcher it. But check out his band. Check out everything that Mark is up to. You can check out that with his Instagram handle at Flemdog. That's FLEMDAAWG for those of you listening on Spotify. Right. So that's that out of the way. Alex, we got the opportunity to run Gommo with your software couple of weeks ago when we did our doubles event as a little bit of a beta test, call it, before you had the opportunity to put it out to market. And it is so fabulous. Say goodbye to BCP. Say goodbye to whatever the other ones are. You're not going to need them.
1000% say
You're not going to need them anymore. Goodbye, new recruit. Thank God for that. But the software, we'll talk about this from our perspective, I suppose, and sort of what the impact has been for us. And then we've got a few questions for you and that sort of thing to figure out where you're going next. But it is really fabulous. You'll see some screenshots, those of you on YouTube, up on the screen at the moment. And Gommo, I'm sure these aren't necessarily the most up to date. They're just the ones that we've grabbed. But either way, you can sort of get some nuance of how complex and customizable it can get if you want it to be. Otherwise, it's also really simple. And it's a really easy way of setting up your events as well. I think one of the most fabulous features that I really like about it is the drag and drop tournament pack. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of how you
so
see
you're talking
that?
about the AI sort of tournament pack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Extraction. So I mean, currently Old World Rankings does use a little bit of AI, like at the moment, to pull some things and do things like surprisingly, you would think that list or sort of tournament software actually has tournament points, like points for the tournament. You know, like if you go to BCP or you get a new recruit or whatever, or Longshanks, that the tournament organizer can put the points of the tournament in, but often you don't. It's not in there. And so the only way to actually...
This is a 2,000 point tournament. Is that what we're talking about?
It's not in. I think it's BCP that you don't put it in there. I don't think it's in there. And then I think New Recruit does because it's an army builder, but some of the others don't. So I don't know. Chris knows more about other game systems. Maybe points just aren't a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's all AOS version 1. I don't know. But in any case, so what I have to do a lot of time is look at the army list and then work out what the points are. And so I use AI for that, and then use it for a few other little things. But I then took that more. And so basically what you can do to set up the tournament is just drag your players pack in, and it builds, the skeleton of it in terms of the rounds, the times, the name, obviously the name and all the logistical stuff. So basically you can drop it in. Most of the time it gets pretty close. You can hit publish. The only thing you really probably want to do is then like screen grab your thumbnail out of your pack, upload that, and that's pretty much it. And then you can press a button and it's, people then can see it and can start signing up. So that's sort of how quick I wanted to get it. And then I'll, over time I'll build more of it and more of it. But yeah, it was an idea of just going, how quick can you get it out? And then once it's out, then you can go back to the complexity part, which is setting up the rest of it in terms of scoring and all that sort of stuff, because that can get, crazy. But yeah, just, I don't know.
I'm sure
AI somewhere.
I'm sure it did 99% of our pack in one hit.
Yep.
Yeah. And it probably, the more I work on that, I can probably do more. But it's one of those things you got to learn what you need to know first, and then once you know what it needs, then you can usually go back and improve the AI, if you know what I mean. So hopefully down the track it'll be even better. Actually, Josh on our podcast on Old World Fanatics, it's really good to get different people's opinions. And that's why I love coming on things like that. I think what I'll probably go is we'll just make packs extinct. That's probably what we'll do. Why we, in every other branch of business I've done, I've tried to eradicate PDFs, Excel, all that stuff. So why are we still putting PDF packs out? Get rid of them. Should be on the site. So that's probably where I'll go.
It's a good point. Actually. And I would love to see that, because the first thing that I thought of when we got back into the tournament scene, and I've said this, I feel like 5 or 6 times now over the year, is I love going to events, but I just hated the fact that it was like the event's on and I'm sending cash to someone's PayPal account. And then I just feel like, oh, mate, you're sending it to a stranger. We're not strangers anymore, but back then we absolutely were. Secondly, surely it's painful for the TOs to do it, and we know, to speak from experience,
and the names never come in on the right thing.
Oh, they never
Judy
do.
And John, someone
wants to cancel. It's a refund. It's just it's a nightmare scenario. We went to payment on the day for our past 2 events specifically because we didn't want to handle that. And I was amazed, thinking, why aren't we using some sort of ticketing site to do it? I think the UK does use some sort of ticketing site.
Well, we talked.
Some use Eventbrite.
We talked about Eventbrite, but Eventbrite's one of those ones where it's like, great, we will charge you a minimum dollar amount or a percentage based on how much your tickets are going to cost.
That's right.
And that ends up taking, I think the smaller amounts are like it's $2 or $3, which adds up if you're grabbing a whole bunch of people for the privilege of still having to deal with Eventbrite's whole system and getting things set up, which is extremely frustrating.
And obviously Old World Rankings is like BCP a bit, where you can obviously take payment through the platform, and that's sort of, it's always that delicate thing as a software provider, is how much do I take versus leave it in the hands. You obviously have the option to choose, send it back to the player. Maybe that's more of a thing that'll become more acceptable. I mean, it's so common now that you walk up to a shop and they say, oh yeah, it's 8% for your MasterCard or whatever. Maybe that just becomes a norm, and then that way the TO is not getting shafted.
I think it will. Give it. And for those with eagle eyes, on the payment screenshot, there is a little toggle saying who the fees paid for, whether it's the organizer or the player. I will make a prophetic prediction that all the TOs, probably including us, will say it's the player. So it's like exactly what you're talking about. If it's $40 plus the whatever percentage fee, I just don't think it's comparable though, Gommo, because with BCP or Eventbrite, etc., when you're taking a portion of that, and here we're going to have those BCP guys after us, but the functionality is just night and day. So
yeah. Oh, well,
for the
hopefully
players
at some-
too,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you sign up on Old World Rankings, which you already have a profile for. You can track which events you're going to. You can pay through the platform. You quite literally you submit your lists. You do everything through the one hit. I know that some of these features already exist in BCP, but when we quote unquote beta tested it, I wouldn't even call it a beta test. I think it's just we were quite literally the first tournament.
Well, you were the first
to do it. I wouldn't even call
I
it
didn't even
beta
use
because
it.
nothing went wrong.
I used it second. You used it first. It was quite funny.
But I think yeah, like Alex, exactly what you're saying. Like, and I know Gommo, your mission with this has been to set out to have it do as much as possible to integrate with the event as you can. And the fact that, as Alex said, you can pay through it, submit your list through it, upload pictures of your list, those sorts of things, so that it can be reviewed ahead of time if need be for those events that look at painting. That's such an important thing if instead of having a TO wandering around to every table making sure that every model is painted, to be able to upload a picture of your list ahead of time and have someone be able to spend 15 minutes before the event. It's a little thing, but it's big. But beyond that, pairings, having notifications come out through the app, and I think they were via email as well when we were using it.
They're email at the moment because there's no actual phone
Sure.
app, but that's coming very, very soon. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, having notifications go out saying your pairings are now up, so that you can go and have a look. Like, you think about what we do at Old Hammer, where everyone buggers off for lunch, and then you're waiting, and someone's refreshing BCP, and someone's looking for things. If finally, rather than you having to wait and hang out for it, you just get a notification that tells you, great, here's where you're going, here's who you're playing. You get that 20 minutes to chat and talk shit with your friends before you then go back in and play the match. Beyond that, looking at integrating scoring, so eliminating score sheets. It's so beautiful and so simple and so wonderful.
Please,
and
yes.
the double validation on that is just fabulous, to make sure that everyone's doing the right thing at bigger events. Like, it doesn't feel like it should be as groundbreaking as it is, but there's just nothing else that does it.
So can we just pause on that for a second as well, and just talk through that briefly, which is my player experience, Gommo, from our time using it and what you've said that you're building, is as follows. I've done my sign up, etc., etc., etc. I turn up on the day, I check in, right, quite literally with a TO. He hits sign in.
You click the button.
You click the button.
Check in on the.
Click the button in terms of tier, and we know it because we were doing it.
Yeah.
And then I don't need a pen. I don't need a piece of paper. I do everything on the app. I submit my first round score. My opponent checks it. We do our soft scores if you've got that through the app, etc., etc., etc. It all flows back to the TO. And the benefit for the TO, we mentioned this last week, but the benefit intrinsically is that you don't waste time having to stand around checking sheets, because you've had multiple people sense check that score. Now, you can, if you are a stickler for
if you really
it,
want to.
if you really want to. I again will guess 99% of people will say, if both of you guys messed up the scoring, that's on you. We're proceeding. We're proceeding.
Well, one of the nice things that it does eliminate, again from a TO standpoint, is again that sheet checking when someone's not put their name down, or when they've written something nearly illegible in terms of what their score is, and you've just got one person who's filled out everything, and you're trying to figure out, well, what is this? Do I need to go back to the table to ask what is this number that you've written down? Having the app, again, it just takes that level of human error out of it. And it's not to say
Yeah,
that there
totally.
won't be complicated situations, as Alex pointed out.
Well, I've got the Chris switch in there too, which is Chris's idea, which is, if it is done wrong and people have put it on the wrong side as well, you can just
you can just switch them around.
Switches them around. So I've got that in there. So that's
Fabulous.
It
courtesy of
happens
Chris.
all the time.
Of course. Yes,
But-
of course.
Chris,
How did your event
pivoting.
By the way,
What
Who's-
event, sorry?
Gommo's event. We
Oh,
completely
okay.
blitzed past that.
Oh,
We're talking about us having used it for the first time.
oh yeah. Well, I
But
mean,
You
to
followed up the
go
week
more
after.
into what you were just saying is, I mean, it sounds sort of funny that I'm trying to build this for TOs, but maybe I'm trying to make TOs extinct in the sense that we're all players. We want to play the game. Why do we even? Why do we
that's true.
need someone walking around? We're all adults. There's a rules of the game. Why isn't the software? And I'm even thinking further with AIs in terms of, quickly ask the app. We've got a bit of a tricky situation here. What is it? And come back with Western Sydney Wargamers ruled blah 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 blah. You don't even have to get the friggin' TO.
I'm both not surprised and also like a little bit interested as to why someone amongst the Games Workshop team has not gone, let's ride the wave of generative AI chatbots and see whether we can get an agent in that we can do. They've certainly got sales agents.
Yeah, well, they're banned
on
AI
there.
now, I guess, at least for the creative. They shouldn't do it for some of the other stuff. Though.
No,
They'll
and I
hamper
think
themselves,
they have said, we won't be using it to create rules and we
Yeah,
won't be
that's
using it
fair
to
enough.
create
Yeah.
artwork, which is totally fine. But having like a chatbot that you can ask the complex, irritating rules
I
queries
started
about.
that a little bit, and it might come, and maybe not so much with Old World rankings, but just in general, having something that you can ask the full rule set and get some questions about, and plus with your list. So I was envisioning not a cheating thing, but just going like, when you list review and you go, what do I need to know about this list? And just because it's so, otherwise you got to go through and click everything and go, what does this item do? What does this item do?
Yeah.
There's no reason why the AI can't go, oh yeah, this does this. This is a pretty nifty little thing. Or that's what I was working towards that. Maybe I'll look into it a bit more.
Yeah, I
don't know.
think there's definitely going to be some people who would look at that and go, no, you're not supposed to do that. Like people should know the rules. But if you're realistically democratizing the experience, having something like that to be able to guide a new
I also
player
think
who doesn't
knowing what a
understand
list
they're
does
doing.
and actually moving on the table, totally two different things.
Yeah, very much so.
'Cause I can imagine I would foobar the thing up if he gave me the best list in the world. I'd wind blast myself off the table. So, that's what I do.
As you should. So, Chris, I wanted to ask before. So, you of all of us are the one that goes to the most diverse array of events and game systems, right? In terms of common systems that you use, obviously BCP is going to be one of them.
And it's garbage, yeah.
Which is garbage. Like, what is your most common experience at events? Is it you have nothing to do with the app outside of someone asks you to upload a list into the app and then occasionally you might get like a dreg of information from it? Or is it like among the different systems, is it heavily app reliant?
Depends how organized the TO is. So I guess the big thing is at the end of the day, like these guys are all volunteers, right? None of us get paid to do this. So sometimes it's just a nice guy who likes a game and he'll go, oh, I'll run that. And he has no idea. He has no idea what apps are out there or what websites. And then a mate tells him, oh, you should use this app. That happened at Warmaster at CanCon, and it was so bad we went to pen and paper. We had little sticky notes on the table and we had to write our scores down. So
Not even Excel. It's just like
not even Excel. Most games I think use BCP. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure BCP charges you to both run a tournament and it wants players to pay to see lists. They basically work on I think a sub model. I really like Longshanks, which is just a website. It just works really well. It doesn't have every game system in it, but it's
got a lot of them though.
It does. It caters for pretty much everything. None of them really interact with you, I would say. So I've never had an app that has actually pushed a notification to me to say, hey, lunch is starting and you have until this time to come back.
Yep.
I've never had one that goes, oh, your round pairing is this. Like, you're at this table. I've always had to go to the
And also shows you the scenario.
Yes,
like,
but I've always had to go to the app or the website, try and load it up on my phone in the middle of CanCon with 20,000 people using the internet at the same time. And I either give up out of frustration and just walk over to the TO / someone with a phone that works and go, what table am I on? So that kind of stuff just happens.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's one thing I worry about. That's still probably going to happen in some of those really crappy areas. But again, that's why you have something like the battle board or something and put something on a big screen or take a monitor or something. Help the players a little bit. Yeah. Help yourself, actually.
But yeah, I'd say like there's just nothing that bridges that gap between running a tournament and communicating to the players. And I don't know why, because like I work in apps and that's not a hard thing to implement. So I don't know why it doesn't exist.
I mean, software, like AI's changed it definitely. And I think we're just seeing that beginning wave. But before that, it's like anything. It's like, what's the highest priority? And sometimes that's just not, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And now I'm seeing more and more cases to go, well, why isn't it? Because now you can do it. Sit down for 2 hours and you have the thing done, whatever it is, some feature or, So, no,
it's funny, feedback. Chris, you touched on something about not being professionals. I'd almost say I would be completely fine with like the old Hammer guys taking a cut of the money for themselves and taking their wife out for dinner or something because they've now been sucked into running 6 events a year for us. And
that's been a massive argument in other communities. So
really?
AOS, I think it was a big one, and Lord of the Rings. So
people just got to grow the fuck up.
You have to do it for free, otherwise you're
ridiculous. Are we all 40 and 50 now?
Exactly. But like to give you context, it was basically I think the guy wanted to charge $50 a ticket for a 2-day event.
That's cheap.
Cheap.
This is a couple of years ago, but yes, it is cheap. And he got blowback and people being like, well, hang on, it was like 40 last year or something like that. I don't know who was blowing back, but whatever. And then he had to go in and justify, is like, these are the breakdown of my costs. And it was like 70% of the fee was going to the venue hire.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, like there was a discussion where people were saying like, hey man, what are you getting out of giving up 2 days of your life or more, because you're going to have to do extra prep. What are you getting out of this? And he's like, oh, like absolutely nothing. And so there's a split in the community where some people were like, hey, if I'm getting 2 entire days of entertainment out of this, as an adult with disposable income, I'm more than happy to pay a bit more.
Gotcha.
So long as the guy running it gets something out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting like a huge amount, but like, at least his lunch should get covered, right? And then, but then there are other people who, for some reason, with wargaming, they're like, no, this has to be the absolute cheapest thing possible. We have to run it.
I think it comes from
flabbergasted.
Yeah, it comes from it comes from
when
a history,
we were like
right?
18.
Like so, but so many of these things, and also if you've ever, for anyone who's as old as we are, when you were running it, when you were having events at event stores or Warhammer stores or Games Workshop stores, whenever they were, and you were paying your $25 or $20 to the store would give you store credit towards something, right? But they were taking that, they were using it as a revenue raising exercise. And I think the attitude sort of comes from a lot of people looking at that going, well, I pay my money and then I have everything at a level of quality and level of organization, and I just have it, and at the end of it I get some sort of, if I'm lucky enough to be among the winners, I get some sort of prize support, and usually it's money or in some form of money. Like when we did it at Good Games, it was always vouchers. When it was at the Warhammer stores, it was store credit, or that might be the other way around. Might have been vouchers at the Warhammer stores and store credit at Good Games. But the point is, money has been so intrinsically linked with success at events that it actually culturally it's a little bit hard to break. And it's not like it's a lot of money.
Is that culturally like Australia, or is that?
I mean, that's a really good question that I think we're going to have Richie back on relatively soon, and maybe it's something that we get the opportunity to ask him about as well.
I know is it the Saffron Slam? You know that the
Yep.
Ed's
That's
side.
Ed's,
They
yeah.
God, that's bad. Can't remember his name. But there's 60 quid for the weekend, which
Yeah.
would
For 2
be
days.
about $100 bucks.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, yeah, why isn't it? Why aren't we spending $100 on a weekend?
But
I mean,
you know,
geez, a
have you
movie's
seen
50.
the Americans? Like I often think when you see I see Blue doing his reports, and the prize table, they have as many players as Oldhammer. It's like 40 to 50 players, maybe larger. Apologies to any Americans if it's larger, but the point of it is like you win swords. Like everyone goes home with 2 boxes of models and terrain.
And they get a lot more prize support from sponsors. We just don't have that here. Well,
But that's something that is something that's changing, and it's been really interesting since the revival of Oldhammer and particularly the Western City Wargamer boys and what they've been doing. You know, we're lucky enough to have Jeff, who's decided to start a business around this as well.
We so are.
We are very, very lucky, and that we can have someone as generous as him offering to provide price support like that. I think there's probably a sales role, Alex, in amongst tournament organisation to get sponsors on board and get people interested. I imagine there's game stores around who want their names attached to events. I know there are already some for some of the bigger ones, but certainly, you know, Oldhammer, there's an opportunity there. But I suppose for anyone,
I think that's a really good. Sorry, I just reckon that's a really good I think get rid of if I've just spent money and paying up my army, I don't really need vouchers to get more miniatures.
No,
but if you want to grow this game, battle mats, scenery, like stuff like that helps people then go home and actually set up a table and play with more people. I think that's way more beneficial than giving someone a voucher to get another box of models, which
and
already,
absolutely. And I mean, as far as our particular approach to prize support and entry fees for the doubles events that we will continue to run, there is no money price in those events. We provide prize support that we design and we develop and we put together ourselves. Some of that costs more than others, but you know it's
like
worth
the
it
gaming
to have the reinvest it.
Magic cards,
but it's the magic cards, the
that's
templates, the dry brush pads.
They are expensive to print.
Like all of those sorts of things that add flavor to a game, as opposed to being, well, great, now I've got a box of minis for an army that I don't play, or I've got a voucher that I might eventually spend, but if I need to spend my $40 voucher, I'm going to have to spend $80 at the store to get what I want, right? So, thank you for
That's what it looks
showing
like,
the
Gommo.
dry brush pads.
The dry brush pads.
Good.
But I think, I agree with going back to the original comment, like Alex's sentiment around the Western City Wargamers boys, like, ditch the cash prizes. Go have a nice dinner with your partners. Go and enjoy yourself.
Their metal things are awesome. I love those metal things you get.
But the little statues they continue to provide. Those are enough. It's not. You don't need a bundle of cash on top of it.
No. What I would like to see, and I just back of the envelope math just then, is like, and this goes for pretty much any event. If you just charged a $5 to every player fee, which is just like, this is for running the event. If you had 20 players, that's $100, right? Let's say you had 2 TOs across 2 days, right, to run the event. Cool. $50 a day to each TO. Great. That's cover their lunch, right? Sorry, 25 each day to each TO. It's cover their lunch, cover their fuel money, whatever. Like, as a player, if someone's like, yeah, your ticket is 55 instead of 50 because of this fee, which goes to the TO, I'm not going to kick up a stink about that, right? It's like, that's so reasonable for someone to give up so much time. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this is good. We're going to do a full round circle, which perhaps is on the segue to one of the other features, which I haven't even listed here, which is professionalizing TO operations by listing suitable venues within the software, Gommo. So being able to say, for example, when we held our doubles at Exiles, it can host X amount of people. It has air conditioning. It has access to adequate parking, cafes. There's a pub down the road, etc. It's open between these hours, and being able for them to select venues and go, you know what? Yeah, I am thinking about running a tournament. Everything's taken care of. Player signups, advertising, at least on Old World rankings at minimum, is sorted. And then where am I going to run it? Oh, I don't need to worry about either Blacktown RSL, where they've had X amount of events, Exiles, and so on.
Yeah. I think
it's a good idea.
it's a fabulous just way of just making sure that the contacts get shared, because that's another thing among events. When you find an event space and you're like, great, now I have someone I know who I can call, who I can talk to about hosting an event. You come up with, another person who wants to run an event at some point, and they have no idea who they need to contact, and they don't know what's around. So again, sort of, I'm going to lean into the theme, democratizing it, right? Making it available to as many people as possible to again look for growth. Now, I think we should probably get back to some of the features of the software, because we spent a lot of time now talking about TO design.
I'll probably get sick of it this week with the amount of my face on the podcast. Anyway.
But I did want to call a few things out, and we'll maybe get the opportunity to again, when we see you on the other channels, get you to do demos of this sort of stuff. But custom scoring, Alex mentioned earlier, around being able to introduce theme score, painting score, sportsmanship score, all stuff that we wanted to do for doubles, despite the fact that we were doing simple win-loss draw, right? There's the ability to now add in all of those. You can add in, do you do it by round? Do you score it once at the end of the event, or at some point during the event? The flexibility there is amazing.
And then now we have voting too. So now the whole, best
better.
painted, the actual, you can, and then you can also do stuff like you're only allowed to vote for people you've played against or people the whole tournament. So that way you can mix up the, for best painting might be everything, but obviously best sports would only be your opponents and stuff. So there's all that as well in there.
Fabulous.
And one thing that will come but isn't, because this is what happened with Josh's tournament, which is fair enough, is some of those, like best painted right now on the software, you got to sort of elect to say vote at the end or vote it on game, round 3. But in reality, what happens is you sort of think about it all day. So be able to sort of go, hey, some voting you can just do, as long as it's done by round 5, it can just come in at any time. So I'll probably do something like that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's also set up not just for singles and doubles tournaments, but also for team tournaments.
Yeah, it is teams. I won't say it's not on launch. Teams isn't there, but I am talking, and I'll be on Dowie After Dark this week, because I'm very keen to hear about how far he thinks teams might want to go on the platform in terms of, do they even want to run their pairings process through it? Because that's something that'd be very interesting to see. Because I know they all, have their cards and all that sort of stuff, but it'd be interesting to at least be able to submit that into the app. So then it goes to the TO to actually put them on the right table. So I don't know. There's a whole Teams is a little bit gets a bit complex.
So maybe version 1 is them just swapping cards around. So
Yeah.
Oh well, we're done, Alistair and Chris. Richie's upgrading on his Australian podcast connections.
We're not good enough anymore.
That's fine. We'll just keep sending him pictures of t-shirts, and he'll be happy.
He'll love it.
The other thing, and I suppose it leads into our next topic of conversation, but options to seed pairings are built in, and there is quite an array of options to choose from.
Well, I've got 5 now, although I think on your screenshot it doesn't have that. But
well, shall we move to it?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
So talk to us, Alex.
Well, I said to the guys, I wanted to make sure this was put in. And you can talk through the other options, but perhaps we'll talk about why I think it's an important topic, because it's being discussed a lot around our local scene. And I would predict globally as well, in the different scenes around the world. I have this fundamental belief that we're 2 years in and we have moved past the first year of, how do we play? Oh shit, I've got all these rules wrong. Alice has been cheating the entire time with Dark Elves, but just not letting people know, etc.
Rude.
And now we're into this phase where it's like, shit, man. I'm up against X player who's literally probably played 40 games, 50 games. Maybe they've had double masters invites. Maybe they're ranked number 1 globally for Lizardmen, Pete. And it can. I think there is a widening skill gap now, whereby you do have people that are starting to think about, do I really want to go to that event because I haven't played in 6 months and I might get creamed turning up. And people joke about it all the time, like Old Hammer's getting harder. Every time we come past, it's getting harder. And so I think we can, kind of just nudge the conversation just a bit more on track by saying, well, guys, why aren't we looking at a formal seeding process which allows tournament organizers to say, okay, we're going to make sure that at least in the first round that you're going to be paired by X ranking. Now here, for the visual people, you can see there's a screenshot on Old World Rankings pairings of either selecting a first round format of random region rankings and global rankings. And we can go through those in detail. But by doing this, the benefits of doing this will make sure that fundamentally the biggest thing it will stop is the 20-0 buster for, again, Chris's Ogres getting paired up against Matt Skaven and just wrecking him 20-0. In a straight.
Matt is getting an awful lot of sympathy.
Well, he's gone to Cathay, so he's not going to. He's going to burn it all. He's going to burn it all. But I think you get my point.
Hello, Matt, if you're watching. I was looking at this, and I'm inclined, I think to agree with you. And in terms of this year we have potentially a team going to Spain, right, to play on toe-to-toe with international teams representing Australia. And whatever your position on that, whether you're one of those people who thinks the people who end up going are the people who can afford to, or whether you think it is truly about skill that you end up sort of going and representing, if we want to create what appears to be a really healthy, strong, competitive top end, right, that really showcases who the best of the best are, the people who can come, think analytically about the game, know their list, know what they need to do, know your list, know the rules, know how the game plays. If we really want to create that, then why not have something that looks at how they perform and pairs them up towards the beginning of events to say your biggest challenges are going to come not just at the end of the day when you're lining up with people who have, had the same successes as you, but at the beginning when you're lined up with the people that are also high performing, are also extremely knowledgeable, are also, strong, competitive, interesting players, right? Why not have this as an introduction? I know you've said the challenges here. When someone turns up and they don't have a huge profile, maybe that leads them to be mismatched early, and they end up maybe having an experience that isn't quite there. And maybe that is one of the hurdles that needs to be sort of looked at for newer players coming to events. But that also doesn't seem to me, Gommo, like a particularly difficult thing to put a flag on someone's profile to go, this player has played less than 20 games. And regardless of their win-loss draw or anything else, this player has played less than 20 games. And so perhaps that builds a bit of nuance into pairings.
Well,
as well.
it's kind of, like even Josh's tournament, which we're talking about. Well, I don't know when this goes out, like in Old World Fanatics. 3 of the guys playing there, at least 2 of them are very good 8th edition players, just haven't played Old World much. So when you look on their Old World rankings thing, they're probably not even on there. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm one of them particularly. I'm thinking I probably didn't go that great at the tournament, but didn't lose all his games because he knows how to play. So you can't always just go off that. I guess one thing I agree. I would like to see it used. I'm not saying it should be used everywhere, but I guess it's these two balancing things to me. It's like you want the best people to surface to the top, so you sort of want to make sure that the best people play each other at the end, and not like it's like playoffs where you don't want like the best two people to play straight away, and then you sort of had the playoffs in round one. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's that issue, but then there's also the issue, like saying, like, we want to grow the community, and so we don't want people to feel like they just not only they get a bad experience if they get. I wouldn't say they would get a bad experience by getting nailed by a good player, because a good player generally, hopefully, does it kindly.
With a bit of
Like,
grace.
most good players are not assholes, which is good. So I'm not trying to say that, that would be a bad experience. But at the same time, you're giving that good player very easy, like, especially in these 3-game tournaments. Whoever just randomly got into that suddenly gets a massive boot up the ladder. Now, I know like things like Oldhammer go off strength of schedule, I think, is their second tiebreaker. Is that right? So it sort of tries to alleviate that a little bit.
much.
But yeah, it's just interesting because I don't know. And so what I've got is 5, you can't see it there on the screenshot, but there's 5 different like seeding styles once you do it. And I guess you can choose depending on what your goals are. So like if you do want to surface the best players, it's sort of the seeding makes it worse than what you're like random, because it's actually trying to put the best person with the crappiest person. So that way you wipe out in round 1, you stratify it really quickly. And then it keeps moving down to the point where you got like a mid-tier, mid-table section and a bottom table and a top one to keep them, or maybe it's just halves. So the top people at the top half play each other and the bottoms play it. So you got options, and then you can play around with it and see what you think. And then in this software, sorry, I'm just going to rant with my software, is you can, if you choose seeding, you can see the seeding. So even before the tournament, play around with it. You can see where they sit and keep pairing up round 1 and having a look at who is matched up with who and see which one you might want to try. That's an option. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's talk through that as well. So we've effectively got 2 region rankings on the screen here. We've got 2 optional rankings. One is seed by region rankings and one by global rankings.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, cut me off if I'm wrong, but region rankings is effectively like our Australian Masters rankings.
It
So
is,
if I go
yeah,
onto my
basically.
dashboard, where am I ranked at the moment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And for me, it's like 400th out of 402. Global rankings, however, is a much larger, I call it a multi-year view of your
it's just a
performance.
decaying. Yeah, exactly.
Decaying you, because at Masters
it's
rankings,
rewarding you playing more and more recent,
Okay.
but also doing well, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I mean by that is like region rankings. You can have someone like Actor who just 100 zips at like max points, 3 tournaments, and he'd be number 1 in Australia. But then globally, he might be lower than somebody who's 10th, but has played like 20 events more than Actor.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, it's an interesting one to look at because we are, by the way, we are not ELO ranking experts by any means or shape or form. Hence our ChatGPT powered benefits and challenges right in there. But I do think, fundamentally I'm sitting there going like, is global rankings the way forward in this software? Because it probably is a reflection of the person's, and of course there's outliers, but the general rule of thumb that global ranking is a truer reflection of how much experience and how well someone's done.
I was almost about to like cull I was going to reset it and I didn't, because I was going to take it global back to something that I was trying to work out, like, because I'm not 100% behind the idea, even though that's what Old World Rankings is doing, of looking at all your tournaments. And so, because it does reward people who get to play a lot. So that doesn't mean they're good either. I mean, so they're going to be good. The people at the top are good. Let's not, like, I'm not, having a go at. If you're at the top, near the top, you're a good player. But are you necessarily better than someone who's like 50 places down and just doesn't play as much?
Or
Like,
did you
no.
get a better pairing?
Yeah. And so, like, I was trying to come up with an idea of going, well, you know what? Even the best player can't go to a certain. There's only a certain amount of tournaments you can do in a year. Like, it's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out, maybe you still can do a best of X number, but that is not as low as what a Masters ranking is. But then I had some kickback on that as well. I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't really care. It's all numbers.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think there is a perfect solution because the data is imperfect. You are never going to have the right data to actually rank everyone. Because as you were all saying, it's like, you know, tournament player A doesn't play the same amount of tournaments as tournament player B. They also don't play potentially the same events anyway. So was this event over here easier than that event over there?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a whole other
well, straight up,
minefield.
Just to try and get the point across the audience is like, this is not a sport, right? We do not play 18 we don't play 18 regular games in a season and then go on to finals, and we can perfectly rank every team / player because there is no structure. It's just completely up to how much free time do you have on your weekends throughout the year. What events did you go to?
It's a little bit more like golf.
Play?
I always do an analogy of golf, that you're playing on a different course. Some of them are harder. And some golfers play a different. Like, it's not like every pro golfer's playing the same courses and the same ones all the time. So
and they don't want to play with amateurs.
No,
good ones.
we know. Yeah.
Alex,
sometimes they do. They have those pro-am things and stuff.
Alex has felt that particular sting on a personal level many times via his workplace. But
yes, that's right.
I have one solution that I think we can take a leaf out of the old KPMG book and just have people complete a 6-page self-assessment before they sit down and do all the rankings. Like, it'll be fine. I think that'll sort it all
questions.
out. 150 questions per page. And by the end of it, we'll have a complex web of data that we can analyze. And if we have credit card numbers and Medicare, then all the better.
There was one last point. Maybe, we're not the platform to fully discuss this on, but I think it would be an interesting one, Gommo, to reach into the global sphere to get some views on around how to do this. And again, I'll die on this hill, which is if in order to get Old Hammer to 60 to 70 players, which I'm sure it will be, Michael and John, is that
we're going to need 2 rooms now.
Yeah. Well, there's a bigger room.
Oh, the big room. I heard about this. There's another. It just keeps adding levels to this.
We'll boot all the retirees and we'll set the Warhammer tables. But
Are you going to push me out of the bingo room? Is that what it is?
I feel like if I was coming to the event and I knew, okay, I'm middle of the pack somewhere. It's only 3 games, but I know that I'm probably gonna play Pete Jenkins, right, with the Lizard Men. And
it's the second time you've trashed Pete in the pod tonight.
Yeah, because he smashed me the other night on Warhol, and so we're not on speaking terms. Is that I would think, okay, like these are the guys that I need to beat, and away they go. And then coming back to the point, right, that the players that are chasing Masters rankings above all else, to your point, I also do they legitimately want to turn up to Old Hammer and just let's say you've already got your Masters invite at the top level. Do you even want to just play a gimme game, or do you want to play one of the other top ranked players? So we're really talking about first round seedings here. I mean, if you want to get super spicy, you can go on to following round pairings, but that's probably going to blow up the comment section and a couple of very animated people. But I think it's a good thing to look at. Again, the Old Hammer guys do use a common sense seeding buckets, which they were talking about in the chat. I'm not revealing anything about basically saying, look, guys, if you're in the top half of the event, you're not going to get seeded into one of the new guys, right? And we will swap and change the ranking.
Okay, they do that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah,
they do.
So it's
they
not
have a
full
formula.
random. Yeah. Yep.
It's not full random. They have a formula. I do not want to even begin to try and explain it. And I'm just, but perhaps, I'm leading the witness here. Is we have the solution right there, staring us in the face.
Yeah, 6-page KPMG self-assessment.
Psychographic profile.
I think the other thing is, I mean, going back, it's probably more Chris's sport about that. Chris's comment that it's not a sport is, I mean, at the end of the day, we're our experience right now is we're mostly holding up Oldhammer as the gold standard in Australia at the moment because they, 50 players and it's 3 games. You're
Show me where else.
You're not
Show me where else.
You're just not going to get the comp. No, I know, but you're not going to get the best player out of that because it's not enough.
Oh,
you're not doing enough rounds to get it. So in that case, I think in those ones, the priority of and it is the priority of the TOs, and these guys do it and know, is just keep growing the bloody community. So my view of that is you do whatever you need to do and you pair how you do to make sure everyone has an awesome time. You don't care about surfacing number one because it's not enough. Now, their weekend game, the ones they've expanded to for the GT, maybe that's a different thing. I don't know.
And we didn't point out the drag and drop pairings feature on Old World Rankings is phenomenal. It's quite literally pick them up and drop them in. And that's the last thing I'll say.
I mean, most time you click generate and it just does it. But and then you
But even still being able to...
I'll rephrase. If you want to change the pairings, apologies.
Yeah. For us, again, smaller events, just super easy. Nice to use. Fabulous.
Very kind, guys. I mean, I even showed my wife some of your comments from one of your videos the other day. I was like, man.
See, darling,
I think you were talking about tell me to shut up and go back to
Fiji
Fiji or whatever I was doing. Or
the best, and was quick story, everybody. So we're there on the day, we're setting up the tournament and pinging. We're saying Gommo's on a plane, and we said, thank God, right? There's no way he'll be able to check in if anything's gone wrong. Right?
But on Qantas.
Next minute,
I think hang on. I think my last message on that morning when we're like, okay, he's on the plane. My last message is, for God's sake, would you go on your holiday?
Yeah.
And it's like that last one. And then, Alex, then what happens?
We're sitting there. We should get this plane of this man with his iPad tuned into our event. 18 browsers open on the flight to Qantas, 3 hours out from Fiji. Going, lads, just checking in. Lunch was just served, but I couldn't eat. I was too nervous.
It's beautiful. It was beautiful.
Good.
Oh, the one thing, and you said it earlier, but before we jump on to talking about Cathay, there is just one thing that I wanted to talk about feature wise, and it is the battle board, and having a player accessible point of reference and information with a countdown clock, with rules for your game, for your event, with pairings as they go up, helping to indicate, I think in the last 10-15 minutes it switches to who's completed games and who's still sort of outstanding. It's such an incredible, it was so good to see it on the day when we had a screen up and we were presenting it out, and it really helped to point the players, frankly, back to, hey guys, you've got 5 minutes left. You are the only table that's left here, and you can see your names in big red text up here on the screen.
Flashing.
You need to finish your game. But the battle board, I suppose. So maybe last sort of question before we maybe refer back to it a bit. Is this now launched? When is it being launched? If it's not now currently launched, and when can people start playing around with it, having a go with it?
Yeah. So currently, unless something really goes bad this week, it'll be the 6th. Is it the 6th of March? Is that Friday?
I think it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So probably 6th of March. Hopefully, I'll switch everything over, which means there'll be a new landing page. There'll be the ability to upgrade to what's called Old World Ranking Pro. So, I mean, for those who haven't seen our Old World Fanatics last week, it's basically some of this. A lot of the stuff you just talked about running a tournament is anyone can do. but there'll be some pro features that you get extra if you do sign up to it. So it's a little BCP like in the sense that, if you're running payment through Old World Rankings, obviously there is a fee for that. And then for the players and anyone else and TOs, you get more benefit to having Old World Rankings Pro subscription, which gives you extra features, including an army builder and all that stuff that syncs between all your devices and stuff, plus a whole other range of things, which we haven't even had time to talk about at all, which is fine. But,
Go for it.
The player side down the track, and when I say down the track, it's coming within, weeks and months weeks really, is full scoring. So not only on tournaments, but you go and play your games, score, like scan your QR code of your list on their phone. You get their list. You've got both lists. You're playing every scoring, like the game view in Old World Builder, but souped up by 1,000 because it's got whatever scenario points are on there as well. All that gets fed back straight in to the tournament stuff, plus chess clock, everything on there. And that's the Battle Hub. Right now, the Battle Hub is what you guys would have been using in terms of logging your victory points, but I'm extending it further to do in-game per round scoring and all that as well. And then on top of that, if you're playing Warhol, you can pause that and come back tomorrow and keep playing it, that type of thing. So so there's all that as well, and that stuff is going to be, that's why, I guess, just to get on my soapbox for 2 more minutes before we switch, is the idea of moving to this paid plan isn't to suck money out of people, but it is to sort of go, hey, we're all big boys now, we're growing up. If we want to see that professionalism of how we play and what we do and all that, it takes time. And it takes time. And my thing with everything is, I've said this all the time, and there'll be an email going out to all the users of Old World Rankings, is this hobby sucks so much time as it is in terms of family time, kid time, all that. To do stuff like this takes time. And I think everyone, if people can get behind people like myself and other people who are doing this stuff and TOs, we should throw a little bit of cash their way to help do that, because we all benefit. It's not a money grab. It's not, no one should be expected to do it for free.
You're not going to be taking more trips to Fiji on this money. Is the moral of the story? I am joking.
Exactly.
But look, I'm fully on board with it. Like, it's the same comment that we've literally just made about TOs and rewarding them. You have done so much work. When we spoke to you, November of last year it must have been.
It was December, and it was a legendary.
The infamous bathtub. Yeah, that's right. Worth it every day of the week. But when we spoke to you then, you had a view and you had a vision, and you were building and working on it. And I don't want to ask you how many hours you've sunk into this since then, because I know
it's the AI
number
cost
is
too, man. I mean,
exactly. Your wife watches this.
Well.
It's like 10.
Yeah, he's been spending 10 minutes a day and $1 a month.
I think she knows. Even my kids, and my kids are adults, and they go, man,
the server costs are on your credit card, your monthly credit card.
But no, I wholeheartedly agree. And I mean, if anyone is wanting to check it out on the pod, do reach out to us if you have. I mean, look, you could just go over to Old World Fanatics and ask Gommo yourselves. But if you have any questions that you want us to pass on to Gommo, or if you have any comments about how you think the platform can work and interesting things that you want to see, head over to Old World Fanatics, or maybe leave a comment with us, and we'll share all of those with Gommo. I mean, it's so exciting to have this, and I mean, I can't wait to see what comes in the future, because it is only getting better. And the only way that we make this community better, the only way that we professionalize, as you just pointed out, professionalize the services that we use, is if we invest in it. And so for anyone who's on the fence about it, do invest. This is a hobby, and we are, for the majority of the time, we are adults that behave like adults. And so it's useful to reward each other for the work that we do to make this so much better. So on that, thank you, Gommo, for all the work.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been really good, and thanks for trying the software and all that. I mean, it's just everyone's been so positive, and I just it's yeah, I don't know. All I want to do is just see my vision and help everyone. Like we could just do so much, so it's going to be exciting. With
And that's exactly what we want. Now, we're not going to let you off the hook yet because we've got some spicy stuff to go through.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone who is not living under a rock, this last week we've seen the rules release for the new Grand Cathay releases. If you could tick over, please, Alex. We have some delicious peasant levies. We've got some ranged support, some desperately needed infantry range support that Cathay has been missing. We've got some updates. We have a full new army of infamy to finally flesh out Cathay's one missing slot. So now it is Jade Fleet, and this one is called the Army of
Wind and Field.
Wind and Field, or Wind and
Bastion?
Land, something along those lines. It is. I've got it written down somewhere, but I can't remember where it is. That's fine. But I think it's
the Warriors
come
of Land
time.
and Field.
Warriors of Land and Field. There we go. We were close enough.
Not wind.
We were
Fourth
close
time.
enough. But there's a rule around wind. It's fine. But I think it's
if
come
Games
out.
Workshop sent all our podcasts advanced copies, we could actually do a better job of it. So
It's true.
their
It's
fault.
true. From a release standpoint, I don't think it's quite come in time for Oldhammer. I'm not sure whether anyone's going to be able to.
I don't actually know.
Because I think it was pre-orders this weekend. And does that mean release
True, yeah.
next?
Well, the list, no, yeah, you could. I mean, technically, no, because the lists wouldn't be out. Technically, no one should have the rule book until when we're actually playing. Probably
technically, John.
Technically.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Technically, John.
Technically, John's turning up with 80 peasants.
But so we will get one last hurrah for, quote unquote traditional Cathay, because the other thing that we have to remember is there are some core changes to Grand Army, and there are some changes to the actual rules. So like the winds of whatever it's called, the turn
now
by
it doesn't
turn
do
bowling
anything
thing.
on a 1-2.
That's right.
Yeah,
So there are some core changes that do not come into effect at the next Oldhammer for our local Sydney audience. However, for thinking about future events, and I think one of the next big future events for us will be the 2-day event coming up in June. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd expect to start seeing lots of units of peasants. They are 4 points at a base. They are leadership 5, unless you take a champion, an elder, who comes in at leadership 6. They are a respectable ballistic skill. they're a respectable weapon skill 2, but ballistic skill 3. And they have the option to take war bows, which are the strength-based bow. So incoming shenanigans. The strength-based bow, and they have a brand new combat weapon. It's a bit unusual, the combat weapon. It's a spear. It's traditionally fighting extra ranks, strength-based, no AP.
I've heard it's long.
It feels
It's
a
the
little
longest of
long.
spears.
It's so long that it enables them to strikes first in an insult to every elf player that has ever existed and run elves ever.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Elf players just get under my
They just
goat.
complain, Gommo, all day.
They do.
The Dark Elf ones
They
are
had
the
it
worst.
right. Because they had it through 7th and into 8th, and they're still not happy.
Dark Elves only got it in 8th. Thank you very much. Dark Elves were simply high initiative elves with hatred of high elves.
Strongest dragon.
Yeah. I mean, look, it is what it is. But the peasants, cheap as chips. They are a 10+ unit. They are core. They are warband. They are horde, which means that you're going to be seeing leadership. I think they could go to leadership 9.
9.
Leadership 9 blocks of peasant infantry. Their saving grace is they can't take shields, so there is no 4+ armor save shenanigans with these guys. They can get light armor, but that is the extent of it. But to be able to now field 2 blocks of,
they just needed some of that chunky,
spear-armed infantry for 80 points. 2 blocks of 20, at 80 points each in the core. Plus, they can also be skirmishers for free, which is nice.
Yep.
And take warbows, which again, looking at available spells and boosters to particularly strength, maybe with astromancers coming. There's opportunities.
Is there ones? I'm just trying to think. I don't know enough. What do they get? They get illusion. They get. What do they
I
get?
think they get
Battle
high.
magic,
They get high magic,
high
which is super fun.
elementalism, battle, and illusion.
Battle and illusion.
And
Yeah.
is there strength ones in there?
Oh, maybe there's not. There's demonology has strength based improvements.
Yep.
There's another. There's at least one that has one.
I don't
more
know if any of
strength-based, but I
their
can't remember what it
six
is.
cells. I can't remember. Sorry, I didn't even prep for this part. So I'm
That's
just trying. And I
absolutely
actually
fine.
I ordered these guys. I've got. All
You've
I've done
got
as
the
my
box.
Cathay is made a balloon. Painted a balloon.
You and four
I
out
have
of five
built all
Cathay
my.
players.
I've basically got John's army that he used. That type
Yeah.
of the stereotypical Cathay army. I've got all that done, like constructed. Just have not got anywhere near a paintbrush.
That's a good.
And now I bought this.
That's a good point
So,
in that one of the biggest issues with this army is I forget, someone coined a good term for it, but like the hobby lag is very high on this kind of army.
I think that was you who came up with
I
that.
would argue that, no, I definitely did not come up with it. I would argue that we're only just starting to see the Cathay armies from the original launch actually get painted fully and onto tables. If you want to sit there and paint 80 peasants, which by the way, you're going to have to buy multiple of these boxes to do that.
Yeah.
Are you going to paint 80 peasants? Probably not, right? Or it's going to take you a long time to do that. So I don't know if we'll see these guys soon. Someone will try something, but it's going to take a while, I think, for these to actually.
I think there'll be a bit of mixing and matching.
You'll see these astromancers straight away.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah, definitely. I think they fill this enormous gap in the list. I was looking at the reason I've included points for the Iron Hail gunners, the Crane gunners, and the peasants was literally to start making a comparison between what you get, because they're all root of
Analogs
4,
of others,
right? No, but they're all root of 4. So you can get for the price of one Crane gunner, which is strength 6, AP -2, but only ballistic skill 3. And can't move and shoot, you can have 4 peasants shooting 4 bow shots.
Yeah.
So someone somewhere is going to do the math about whether or not it's even worthwhile, frankly, to start bringing along. The Iron Hail gunners, arguably, you could say, great, they're multiple shots D3. But again, you're only getting 3 strength 3 shots potentially at ballistic skill 3.
Do you think? Sorry, you go, Chris.
I was going to say, I just have a really spicy take about the Crane guns.
Mm.
They're not a ranged unit. They are a really good speed bump because it's about 50
3+ armor save.
Well, it's a minimum of 3 in the unit, and that's about 50 points. I think it's like 48, right? 50 points. And they have a 3-up save, is it? Something crazy like that?
3-up in the front arc. Yes.
So if I need a speed bump that's going to hopefully last more than one turn, also they're 2 wounds each.
They are 2 wounds each, yes.
I reckon that's better than
what's
the
the deal
peasants.
with stand and shoot on them? You still can, but it's normal stand
can,
and shoot.
but there's no
They're
quick
cumbersome, so you can't
Imagine if they had
stand and
cumbersome,
shoot.
because then you can just like magic them up right in front of someone and shoot them with.
Yeah, they
3
can
strength
reserve
6.
move. They can
Yeah, and
reserve
that
move.
was-
okay.
That was
So
what I was going
one-
to say.
Yeah, 1 unit per 1,000 points. I think you can pay a point per model.
2 points.
Well, you're
2
going to
points.
have to
points.
with this because you can't
Yeah.
do anything else with it, can you?
Well, you
Like-
shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot,
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
No, but without reserve move, you wouldn't be able to. People just move out of your arc and you're screwed. Is that right? You can't scout.
well,
with it. I mean, you
look,
can scout,
people-
but you can't do anything with it.
Well, they
Oh,
can
sorry,
ambush us.
Ambush,
can
sorry,
ambush
but then you
us.
can't do anything because you
Yeah,
come on
why,
and you can't
why
shoot.
would you possibly
yeah, I
ambush
don't-
this unit?
I don't know.
And
It
how are
seems a
they
bit weird.
ambushing with those rifles? Like,
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
knows? They're
So,
really
The
sneaky.
question I was going to ask, I don't know if Chris finished his thought, sorry, but with the Iron Hail guns, am I right in saying that were they strength 4 before they got nerfed?
No, they were always
okay,
strength
it was
3.
always 3 on the,
Yeah.
okay.
But the
So
difference
what was
was when they're on the balloon,
Yeah.
they're way easier to sort of position
Put in the
because
right
you've got that
position.
360
Okay,
degree
so they've
arc.
always been strength 3 on the balloon. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the balloon has crane guns, doesn't it?
The crane, it can take
I
either.
thought it had both.
Either or.
So
yeah.
it starts with Iron Hails, and you can upgrade to crane.
But they're ballistic skill 4 dudes on the balloon. If you go good at crane gunning, you get sent to the balloon.
Yeah. It was the bomb. The bomb was the one that dropped in strength.
Yes, the bomb,
yeah,
the Dragon
yeah,
5
yeah,
bombs.
yeah.
Yes.
And I've been banging around in list build on this, and I'm not a Cathay expert at all, but it was very, very easy to go 50 peasants with spears, full command, and if you wanted to give them an upgrade, you can. Dirt cheap. It was super cheap. And then the other thing I found myself adding were units of like 15 with skirmish and bows. And just sitting there going, yep, cool. Talk about speed bumps. Like, they're going to get routed. But if you think about...
get through it, though.
You got to get through it. But if you think about the unit of 50, nothing's breaking that. Even if you beat them by 10, you kill 10 peasants, but you're still not going to double outnumber that to auto break it. So it's just going to be consistently falling back in good order on Leadership 9. And this is where the Astromancers become interesting because, not that I'm saying this is good, but it could be extremely annoying to have multiple Astromancers giving each other +1 to cast. We've seen it in Wild Herds.
Oh, you can't, though, I don't think, with them.
It's once per turn.
Once per turn. Yeah, but each of them once per turn.
No, I think it's once per turn.
Yeah, but they can't. That's a rule.
Yeah.
That's their rule's slightly different. The way it's worded, and I think it was FAQ'd, it might be wrong there, but it's basically, it's a rule that only like one of them can do it, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
like
here it is. So it says a wizard within your army that has a special rule and is within 6 inches of one or more friendly wizards that also have this special rule may apply a +1 modifier to a casting roll. So it's not an
spell
entity
in the whole army.
The whole rule gives you one
So
can do it.
It's not an entity. It's not an entity does multiple modifiers to another entity. It's once per turn a wizard can get a +1 casting to their roll.
Yeah,
and it wasn't FAQ, so it was in their FAQ. What is it? The FAQ, not the errata. It's the FAQ part. I think it says it. I don't know if it was. It must have been in the last one. It just said it. Oh no, it must have been in this one. It clarified it. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas Wild Herd, you're right. You both get it.
You get it. You get it. Yeah, and then you blow yourself up potentially.
Not as bad as you used to, but yeah.
Or you just miscast and then auto cast a spell. The point of that, like, it opens up interesting options such as like glittering robe on 50 to 60 peasants. Yeah,
with
their weapons
cheapest chips, two cheapest chips, Astromancers who sit there. One of them takes
illusion,
whatever you like, illusion. Yeah. One of them takes elementalism or high magic and gets the opportunity to get the high magic. Use your words, Alasdair. The high magic signatures.
I don't know high magic enough. I'm actually excited to use it.
High magic's drain magic.
Yeah, which is great off a +2 to cast, and
each should like the
Astromancers themselves have magic resist 1. So they give magic resist to a peasant unit. So there's the opportunity to, make your peasant unit harder to target by enemy spells while also giving it -1 to hit in combat and at range. And, if you're, God forbid, you're using it as a skirmish unit, but potentially -2 on your peasant skirmish archers, if that's the way that you wanted to play it. But I think it really highlights the Army of Infamy specials. So the Army of Infamy, this Warriors of Land and Field Army of Infamy, for a bit of context, it does away with dragons. It says you can't take a dragon here in this army. This is a standard army that can have no Shigengan Lord. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no Shigengan Lord. It can take a Shigengan General, but no Shigengan Lord either. It's limited to Magistrates, Gate Masters, Supreme Astromancers as the sort of superhero choice. And then it's very heavily focused on peasants. There are no Jade Lancers as core. There is 1 unit of Jade Warriors per 1,000 points that can be taken as core, so you can't take multiples of them. You just 1 per 1,000 points. Peasant levies, you have to take at least 1 unit, but you're taking multiples. But the peasants themselves get these really sneaky upgrades. And the first one that I wanted to call out was this Warriors of the Field upgrade, which means that your peasant levies will never become disrupted by difficult or dangerous terrain. And just think about that for a second. You've got a unit that has Warband and Horde, that is leadership 9, that is claiming with a banner, a 4 with banner in close order, a 5, a
6
5
without number.
6 without number, a 6
You might see
combat.
the gatekeeper with a banner, PSP then.
Yeah,
as well.
potentially. So up to 7.
And a
right?
Jade banner to 9.
It's
Yeah.
a cheap as chips unit with huge amounts of combat res that can sit with this much of a forest in front of it, so that when you move onto it, you disrupt yourself, and it just outnumbers you. Regardless of the damage that you do, the combat res sits there, they win the combat, you potentially break and flee. Who, from a rake and flank perspective, wants to take on a peasant unit that's doing that? Nobody. Absolutely
Not if
nobody.
they're charging through that many 3 ranks. And even though they're weapon skill 2,
And they're
I don't
striking
even know,
first.
what is that, 30
I'll tell you,
attacks?
templates are on their way back, people.
Yeah.
They've
That's
already
true,
started.
that's true.
They're coming back.
That's a
Breath
good
weapons.
point.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Totem of Wrath on impact hit cavalry, especially monstrous cavalry, is really good, if you didn't know, Chris.
Keep trying to convince
But
Tom
I
of
know,
that one
I'll
as
keep
well,
trying. I'll
Alex.
keep trying. But the other thing we didn't touch on, I was trying to remember the spell. There's spell in the Law of Yin, the Accursed Mirror, I think it is, which is if you roll a 1 to hit against the unit, you take a Strength 3 AP 1 hit back. Right? So I've got this nightmare scenario going through my brain where you charge these 60 peasants, which costs less than 200 points, and you're like, taking 30 attacks up front. You're taking any attacks that you roll a 1 to hit on the reverse. They're starting at +6, and the whole package costs like 250 points, 300 points, and it's just never gonna get shifted.
It's potentially disgusting. And
Potentially.
while you're doing that, you're having the Sky Lanterns sit behind with crane guns picking off your units, because that very much feels the way that it's intended with this Discipline of the Dragon special rule, which is the once per game during the command phase, each of your lanterns can take a leadership check. And if they pass the leadership check, they can then pass on a lingering effect for that battle round. So until your next start of turn sub phase, you get, I think, what is it? So you can't be wounded on a roll
On
of a 2.
2+, that's the auto.
Like, I think that's the auto one. But otherwise, if you don't do that, then any unit that doesn't have stubborn gets stubborn. Any unit that's already stubborn gets unbreakable. And then I think the last one is, oh, great, you can add +1 to your movement and re-roll charge, flee, or pursuit rolls, which potentially has
sorry,
thrown.
the one you just mentioned there, because I haven't fully watched that whole video and taken it on the screen. So those balloon ones, are they in
Yes.
this Armies of Infamy
in the
only?
peasant army.
Yes, in the peasant army.
50%
So
special.
they are,
Yeah.
they are currently, where are we? Sky Lanterns can be taken as special in this Army of Infamy, and Army of Infamy special percentage.
Oh, even
up
if you
to
don't have
50%.
like characters on them. Or
Yes,
whatever it is,
correct.
Or the whatever, not characters. You have to have the
The
general.
strategists. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's a good point. I thought it meant the strategists. It's actually just the balloon itself.
No. So it is
Yeah.
any lantern. Any lantern takes a leadership check. If they pass, they choose one of these effects, and all Cathayan units that are currently within 12 inches of that Sky Lantern are affected by the chosen strategy. So they don't have to be wholly within.
Do you reckon? Is that a new use case for everyone who bought 5 balloons now? Because now
Maybe.
they still
It
still bring them.
I
for a
will
different
purpose.
purpose.
I will say it is a once per game, and the wording is suggestive.
okay.
So
Oh,
the
okay.
wording is and I'll be interested to see what people in the comments might think about this, but the wording is suggestive that it might be once per game they all do it, or once per game at your choice, a Sky Lantern can do it for themselves, and then they've used that for themselves, right? So the wording is a little bit tricky because the first time I read through it, I was like, oh, once per game, you do it with all your Sky Lanterns. And then I went back and reread it, and I thought, oh, actually, maybe it's a once per game, your Sky Lantern over here can choose to do it. And then at a later point, your Sky Lantern over here can choose to do it. But I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can I rewind back to your peasant bowman?
Yes. Go on.
Sorry, everyone who's hearing this is going to go, Colin, come on, we talked about this 3 days ago. Law of Yang, signature spell, Might of Heaven and Earth, is a bubble spell, 9 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you weapon skill and strength buff if you roll a 9
there you go.
or more, and flaming attacks, or it does the same thing except within command range. It gives them any unit +1 weapon skill and strength. So there you go with your war bows.
There's
you
your
get
war
weapon
bows.
skill 3 peasants with strength
There you
4
go.
Strength 4 shooting. There's your use case.
There
you go. You're
It
double.
appears they
You're
know
double
what they're doing.
and it's a sig spell.
Does it say, Gommo, does it say that it can stack? Is there any wording in there saying that it can't be cumulative?
No, it just says strength couches to a maximum of 10. But I think I think GW put a thing in saying you can only have like one of the same
you can only be
enchantment.
affected by one of the same
Or
enchantment at a
hex.
time. Okay,
Yeah.
that would have been cute. Strength 5
Yeah.
warbows, but but no.
What
strength
toughness
4
are ogres, Chris?
Not enough.
They've
Sorry,
got
toughness doesn't
something
matter.
against
Sorry,
the
what
troll
toughness doesn't
horde,
matter.
haven't they?
What
They've got
weapon
something
skill are
against the troll
ogres,
horde.
Alex?
That's right.
One higher than a peasant, apparently.
Well, look,
One.
You'll be hitting the peasants on 3s, although if they
Or the
get
glittering
this off,
robe will be up.
if they get this off and glittering robe, you're hitting on 5s.
Disgusting.
There's something fundamentally wrong, when 12 ogres can't kill 40 peasants.
I'm so looking forward to seeing what peasants bring to Cathay
it's gonna be great.
because
Yeah.
the just this touch of diversity will just add a lot of flavor, and I look forward to the first person that runs Warriors of Land and Field.
The only thing
and
I'll say, so just hint to John and Michael and all the other Oldhammer, it's a 6 color minimum painting requirement now.
with highlights, and if you
Yeah,
haven't
with
painted,
highlights.
if you haven't
Yeah.
painted the eyes,
Yeah, the
properly,
eyes have
then
to
it's
be
an
dotted.
immediate.
Yeah, the eyes. Yeah.
I do have a spicy take on this, and that is around the FAQ lantern nerf that we got.
Mm.
Yep.
And my spicy take is that they didn't nerf it because the existing lanterns were cooked, even though they absolutely are. They nerfed it because they were releasing this book, and the way that
And
this
adding
book,
more rules.
the way that this book is written, is there's nothing stopping me from having a wall of peasant archers in front of my lanterns, who are then raining down sky crane guns, whatever it
Yep.
is. This army just gives them, because you can take 50% balloons.
Special. Yeah.
So you can just have a wall of peasants that you don't care about shooting anything that comes in near them while your lanterns just pick up.
Didn't
That's
you,
still
didn't,
gonna
you
happen.
link a, didn't you link a list earlier today that was legitimately 200 peasants in 10,
Bowmen.
20, in
Yeah,
10,
like
20 peasant
18,
units?
8 lanterns? Yeah.
Yeah, and eight lanterns to fill out the special slot, and it was
Illegal
literally
at
was just
Oldhammer,
that.
but
It
yeah.
was just peasants and lanterns and a gate master or a Shigengan lord or sorry, a Shigengan
It was
general
one Shigegan,
or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they're large targets, right? So they can draw line of sight over
Yep.
intervening models. So I
Yep.
still fully expect if they're just chilling with their six crew on them, 6 crane guns,
5.
5. Apologies. Oh, that's right. They lost their
Well,
champion. Didn't
No,
they?
he's
Yeah.
he's
Well,
he's
no,
only a
he
champion
just
now,
turned
but
into a normal dude.
yeah,
It
he's
was
just
always
yeah.
5, but character made it
Sure.
6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Was
they
it
can just
6?
chill.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, adding the character to it makes it 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like when you add the character.
Yes,
Which wouldn't
yes.
have
So
a
it's
crane
5.
gun, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
five crane guns. I mean, if you pay for 5 crane guns normally, what's that? It's 50, 80 points paying for crane guns on foot, or you pay like 130 something
know,
points or
that's what's
120
Again,
crazy.
more
Yeah.
ballistic
Yeah.
for
skill.
flying
Then you get a
crane
balloon.
guns.
I don't know how those points are
That's
worked
the
out.
ambushing right there for the crane guns.
With better ballistic better ballistic skill,
Get your
better lines
modifier
of
to your
sight.
ambush.
This is the
Yep.
thing. You look at the crane gun, and yes, you're right. Like 3-up save's awesome, 2 wounds, but and I look at the 36-6 -2. I go, yeah, cool. Looks like a sharp debowman, and then I realize, these dudes are never hitting on a 4. They're always hitting on
Yeah.
5s.
But we should.
or not.
The thing you didn't say, Alistair, was in that peasant list, you still have full access to the cannons. Right?
You do
As
have
in
full access
Cathay
to
and Grand
cannons.
cannons, which is the 0 to 2 now. So maximum 4 in most interpretations of comp.
But they can sit anywhere and still shoot line of sight, or is it only the other thing? What's the one?
No,
that can
they
shoot?
still have
they're-
the if they
they
it's the
do.
bombardment rule. So if
okay.
a unit uses the bombardment and can use one of the sky
That's the
lanterns,
rocket.
as-
That's the rocket.
yes,
That's the
yeah,
rocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Cathay
Yeah.
and Grand cannons still need.
I guess just to
their
circle back, it's
laser
like
pointer.
this is the Cathay version of Null. I think like it's
Yeah,
giving
no,
you
yeah,
giving you
yeah,
all of the right slots to pull off basically a gun line. That's just going to
Yeah.
sit back and blast the hell out of you before you get there. And part
Which
of that
is funny because that's
yeah.
sort of what Cathay already was. But
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
different type of gun line.
yeah.
Well, I
Which was
think it
a
was
movable
more
gun
that,
line that just
it
ran
was
away.
that elite. Yeah, it was that elite focused. It was more maneuverable. It was. This is the traditional gun line. This is the make your way through
Yeah.
multiple cheap units until you get to me, and then when you get to me, I'm going to fly away.
Yeah,
That's what this is.
Having said that, we're going to be critical all the time. And go, oh yeah, is this going to make Cathay this? I can, if they could do over 2 or 3 editions of Warhammer, do this with more armies, and then you bring, what's those other peg type things they have in Total War?
Oh gosh, yeah, I know. They're the
and then
the
they
Pegasus
they still
Knight
need to bring the
analog.
peasant the yeoman
they're missing
equivalent. It's like this
the-
army's going to be pretty
you mean
versatile.
specifically
The
for
long
Cathay?
march, the
Yes,
long march
yeah,
cavalry.
Yeah, the long
Yeah.
Mars. Yeah, when
And
they
the
have that, and they have,
Celestial
like,
Guard
this
as
will-
well.
that as well. So
Well,
I
you've
think,
got
like,
you've got that already,
yeah.
Chris, with Yaming. She can upgrade
yeah, I
into
know, but
Celestial Guard.
surely
But
they'll bring
yes,
out actual.
hypothetically. But
Yeah.
like, I agree with you. There's a huge amount of diversity to come, and when you look at the amount of unit profiles that this army has, it's still woefully inadequate compared to
Yeah.
some of the other
Yeah.
ones that have
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so many.
And you got
more
that
options.
big compass thing. That's
Yeah,
gotta come out,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
so like we just got to get through these. Whatever, a couple of years
But-
of sometimes they're very like myopic with an army, and that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, and look,
Are
but
we, are we
that-
moving to
that
discuss the
said,
future, or is that?
One second. I look forward to the first person that genuinely brings a peasant list with enough tricks to just go, here are my extremely cheap, vulnerable units, but you just can't do anything to me because I'm breaking you with disruption, because
Yep.
I'm using
Love
my
it.
magic ability to prevent you from really causing any meaningful harm.
I reckon if you could look at Patty Gallagher's computer right now in Blender, she's probably like designing like 10 different peasant things and printing
everything.
what you
If-
just
if
I don't
she's
know.
not-
I don't
if
think
she's
even
not-
Patty would print like 100 peasants.
No, but if that's if she's not fully sold on the Gamark Skaven Cathay that I linked earlier on, that she was like
Gee,
she was like, oh,
is that
I
the
really
guy
like
who does
these.
like the orc ones and stuff?
No, this
Oh,
was
he does a lot. Yeah.
He does a
There's
lot.
I think there's a few variations.
He does like
but
40k orc ones. Is that
he
that guy?
does, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
but-
oh, yeah, I didn't see that one.
It's like last month's release or the month before, and he's released. I think they're Japanese themed as opposed to being sort of the Chinese theme that Cathay has, but they are legitimately like Skaven Ashigaru with like
Shredder,
samurai
No, not
hats.
Shredder.
And yeah,
What's the Teenage Mutant Ninja
It's
Turtle?
Shredder.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
No,
Shredder.
Shredder's but the rat I'm talking about. not,
No, Master. Oh yeah, okay, I know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's bad. Can't remember.
It's
He
been
has a
30
simple name.
years since I watched it. But
It's gonna
That's
haunt your
bad.
brain for the
But
rest
yes.
of the
No,
for the
doesn't
rest
matter.
of the yeah, but things to look forward to with
Yeah,
Cathay.
by the
It's gonna
way,
be, it's gonna
did
be
you
super
say
fun.
that peasants can get ambush? So you could
Splinter.
have
no.
Sorry, there we go.
I
you
think
could
I
have
think
ambushing units of
You can.
warbows for like
yes.
Yeah. Because
60
they also
points.
get the plus. They get the
Yep.
get that benefit with the balloons
With the
straight out,
balloons.
don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it is only 1 unit per 1,000 points. I will say.
That's true.
It is
That's
only
true.
1
You
unit
only,
per 1,000
you only
points.
need 2 because you got 4 more anyway. But yes,
Yes.
I agree, Alistair. I
But
think it's. I think
There's no
it's all
limit
about-
to the size of the peasant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
they are
I-
10 plus. They are
yeah,
10
but
plus.
I think, the first person that turns up with 100
It would be hard to fit it in,
peasants-
though. It's pretty hard. Ambush is a bit annoying because 9 inches it's 9, isn't it? It's sometimes quite hard
8.
to get a big
8,
unit
but
or
yeah.
8, in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Only 30 this time instead of 60. But yes, loving that no one's picked up on the fact that I
I
put
have.
the
I was
rat crying
when's
emoji
the rat?
in the
Yeah,
crane.
the crying rat. I know.
I think that's Alex's. Is that your take of just more things being stolen from Skaven, blatantly,
Well,
just fully blatantly
like,
stolen from the
it's
Skaven book?
it's actually really cool in the lore because they actually kind of play off each other a lot. In that the
True.
Skaven steal a lot from Cathay.
And there are Skaven clans in the land.
Eshin's all over that place.
Yeah, no, very positive about it. Keen to see it on the board, and I'm not triggered yet because they're yet to steal any of the demon rules.
Oh yeah, just wait till something gets a universal 5 up.
That's what the bird is.
No,
That's what the little bird is.
Well,
The
that's isn't that
Bastion army.
Val's
That's
thing?
gonna-
Is that this is Zench? This is
So that
chaos.
the Grand Bastion army is going to be like hatred demons or something stupid like that. Just absolutely wreck demons.
Against the demon, the only like demonic model,
this
the demon
is
prince officially. Yeah.
Chris, I will point out this is the Bastion army. So this is the army of infamy that's coming out with the breaching of the Great
True.
Bastion.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there may be a further one. I mean, I'll be interested.
Can they
Like
get Sentinels?
we're talking years in advance,
Yeah.
right? When they finally get around to Chaos Invasion, and when they finally get around to ramping
Passive
up
or
towards it,
cool
like
and all that.
years and years and years and years and years. We'll see all of that then. But yeah, I just like the theme of this, where it's just like, okay, well, we can't use some of the really core and key aspects of the Cathay list in the same way that Jade Fleet has or Grand Army is, because this is everyone's away fighting in the old world, and we've only got peasants left defending the Bastion. And I really do like this Army of Infamy, this Land and Field Army of Infamy. I think it's going to be.
But
super
when
fun
you
to
say
see.
from a competitive standpoint, like where do you think it sits? Like
I wouldn't
maybe
be
if
able
you
to
can work
say.
out this peasant stuff, it's a bit of a bitch to play against. But do you
I
think
think so,
Jade
yeah.
Fleet will still just hang
Well,
out?
Jade Fleet is the one that most represents like the old Grand Army, because the new Grand
'cause they've
Army makes a
adjusted
bunch
it,
of changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like if you want to see traditional Cathay, it's going to come in the form of Jade Fleet. I don't think you'll see it. You'll see it as Grand Army. Even Grand Army is just going to have to adjust a little bit.
Did
So it will be interesting.
Did Jade Fleet get given the peasants or just no?
No, I don't think they do.
Okay.
Because they haven't made any adjustment to the Jade Fleet Army of Infamy, so it has the profile it has.
I think maybe you'll see Grand Army. Depends on how good these peasant roadblocks are. Because if they're really good and they kind of unlock other things in the list to do their jobs better, you might see Grand Army just being spammed.
You might,
everywhere.
because that's how
Maybe.
you can get the dragon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you can still get cannons in this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for
We'll
some
see.
people like me, I'll be praying that old hammer.
Can
I
you
don't
mercenary
blame
in Cathay? Can you do that? Can you mercenary in your own things?
Let me tell you.
Or ally in? Works. I guess no one takes ally, like no one allows allies, I guess. But yeah.
Mercenaries, the only thing the only
Interesting
thing that
how
you're
they've
allowed to
worded it.
mercenaries in
Yeah.
to this list is Badland Ogre Bulls.
Yeah. Good old Badland argument. They're on everyone's.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But
And you
have
can spend up to 20% of your army on them, but they're the only thing you're allowed to bring in.
Did you notice that they've worded in the main army? They've said the mercenaries, up to 20% of your army's points value may be spent on mercenaries, but they haven't listed
In which one?
in the rejigged main Grand Army composition list.
Yeah, it literally says.
I think
Interesting.
it always does that. I think every list has that. Pretty sure it does.
Some of the different, like the Renegade Crowns one says literally mercenaries with the dogs of war.
Yeah,
inclusion,
and then the
and-
peasant one says 20% may be spent on mercenaries, including Badland ogres.
Badland Ogre Bulls.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so confused when mercenaries first came out. Because there's no rules for them.
No, I hope we
Thinking
see a
like,
bit
what
of
is this?
clarity from that over the next few months.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
I think that's enough about Cathay. Where are we up to? Oh, hobby. Okay, we're near the end.
Ah.
We're near the. Oh no, how did this get
Why did
here?
you start off with yours? You're the only one that actually did hobby.
Because I wanted to talk about it. What do you mean?
Tell us what you've been working on, Alex.
Well, the avid listeners of our podcast and Chris and Alex ramblings late into the night last week basically showed my Bloodthirster, which was getting painted, and my attempt to want to use the AK Wargaming floor enamels, which were a very exciting project to take on. This has to be probably the most obscene of my projects yet in basing, because I had to print a 50 by 50 by 50 base, right? But I had to
legitimately a cube.
Yeah, literally a cube. But I had to custom design it to hold weights. And so there's honestly 7 weights in that cube.
That
Which
plinth, is it a
plinth that
plinth?
Josh called it. This guy's heavy, boys. He's heavy. He is not falling over. But then I also had to like put in a screw hole to make sure I literally screwed the top of his scenic base in, because I was like, I don't even trust the glue. I said, this guy's got to be screwed in.
That's not a pin. That's a screw.
It's a screw.
The
It's
old
not a
pinning.
pin.
Wow.
Absolutely not a pin.
It's not a paperclip. Okay.
So there's a lot of super glue and high grip Tarzan's grip glue holding that Bloodthirster together. But yeah, it was a very exciting project to get done, as much as people are going to go, what the fuck are you doing?
They get more outrageous as time goes on.
Oh, mate, you haven't seen my Lord of Change model.
Can you just explain these paint things, these AKs? So what, like, what is it? What's the texture? Like, what is the viscosity of this thing? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so look, shout out to Chris in the 2+ Discord who kind of pointed them out to me. And I am really going more into the OSL effects now. And as you know, the minute you start Googling it, you get recommended every single miniature painter that does OSL. And it's been great. But I've always struggled with, I don't know what the right word is, but the color of the fluorescent paint has never really popped in my mind.
You are
Maybe because I'm
colorblind, Alex.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, and effectively, so these are them. These are the AK Wargame enamel liquid pigment, light orange floor, and I've got the purple ones here too.
No, I was hoping you wouldn't mention the colors so I could make a joke about, wow, that's a really great brown.
It's written on it, Alistair, so you can't fool me on that one. But to your question, Gommo, the way to apply these is you can put them through an airbrush, and I've been brave enough to do it yet, but what you need to do is put a white underlay like you would if you were doing a contrast paint or an ink or something like that.
Yeah.
In this case, I used white oil paint and created, if you can see the purple, his like gauntlet is glowing purple, his eyes. And once you do that, you then apply this. Literally just get it out of the bottle, just slop it on.
With a
brush.
Paintbrush.
Paintbrush. The weird thing was...
So you're doing the OSL type stuff with the airbrush still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's still the fundamentals of OSL are to control value, if you want to call that, using grays and whites and other things, but then using inks to initiate that. So you can see on the blade, what I've done there is I painted it specifically in, I actually used snake green contrast paint. What are they called? Express paint. Apologies to Vallejo. And
there goes our sponsorship, mate.
Yeah. And then I laid down some reds and things like that, but I didn't get that bright like pop of like lava until I put the white ink in and then put this down. But the weird thing about this Gommo was you put it in and you look at it and you go, that's not really like when I first looked at it, I was a bit disappointed because I went, it's not popping. It's not until it dries. So once it's fully dry,
because like it to me, the hilt thing
Yep.
worked. That fire, I don't know what it is. It looks like it's like almost that Balroggy look from Lord of the
correct.
Rings. Like if you had that more through it
Yeah.
somewhere else, I'd be like, fuck, this thing looks. I mean, it looks good now, but I'm saying like that.
Oh
that
yeah, no, I mean,
speaks to me that thing.
Alistair said you should have done that everywhere.
I would have
and
loved
not
to have
with the
seen that
purple.
fire orange, that fire yellow where the purple
Yeah,
was.
it came out really well.
Absolutely would have been good, but hindsight is a great tool to have.
Well, Alex,
But-
just print and wait
Print
another
another
one.
That's right. So I would genuinely put these as not your first rodeo with OSL, right? If you're gonna do that, look at standard fluorescent paints or God forbid just fluorescent inks. There's so many options out there. I would call this an advanced product because you need to be careful because it's an enamel. Like, yes, it's easy to apply.
But it's so difficult to then manipulate.
Exactly. It's better. It runs into the crevices. The viscosity is high. So it's better for things like runes and other things, not for
what about
doing
bases
the full glow.
though? Oh, I might.
Oh, Gommo, I'm
Feel
doing
like-
that. Don't worry.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
because I was trying some of that with my Zench ones and they didn't turn out, but that sounds like that might.
Yeah,
be what
I would.
need.
Yeah. So what I will be doing, jumping onto the next one, is I've got my soul grinder here, which you can see on the left hand photo. Is doing my normal demons basing theme and trying out using the purple here to do a bit more of a glowing effect in my like I've got like a lava glowing effect, but not a traditional fire lava. It's more of like a demonic energy lava. So that's going to surface sometime in the next week or two to paint this. But I do want to make it a video as well to basically say to people, you know, if you do want to invest in more advanced OSL techniques, these are the things.
How
that
much are
you
they?
should
Sorry,
do.
I might have missed that. Sorry.
Off the top of my head, like $8 to $15.
Yeah,
I can't,
yeah.
so something like that. So it's definitely a tool. But you know, my standard painting process now is airbrush, 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 and then I use stippling and dry brushing to add in a bit of depth, and then oil wash the shit out of it, and then move to the OSL stage. So I'm very very happy with how he turned out. That was here. I scaled him down appropriately, Chris. He was probably 30% bigger before, but yes, this is not the edge of the obscenity yet, because if I bring my Lord of Change model, I do not even. It's as wide as it is tall. We won't get there.
What could go wrong?
Oh,
Chris!
No, it didn't. It didn't come up.
Oh no!
It didn't come up.
It looks like he's done.
Hang on. We're gonna go back
I'm gonna refresh. Are you?
and see if we can refresh this, because this is
Is this a photo of my kittens? Because that's basically 80%
that
of my
would've been-
time right now.
that would have been good. Yeah.
I am, as a quick interruption, live as we're talking, the lists for Fatal Fall have been released.
Oh no.
Restart
and I'm
the episode.
having
Restart.
I'm having a browse. So far, there are only 2 grand. Oh, there's a third Grand Cathay list. There's Paul's. Paul is bringing Grand Cathay as well. Oh, there's 5. Yeah, 5 Grand Cathay lists at this point. And I
Okay.
just wanted to. The reason that I wanted to raise it. How many of those do you think have Miao Ying?
5.
No, it is only 4.
Oh, it's only 4.
Who's the brave
Matt
person?
purchases list doesn't have Mao Ying.
No, I think it's Paul actually who doesn't have Miao Ying. Let me just triple check. Yeah, he's got a Shigengan Lord tricked out to the 9s, but he's got no Miao Ying.
Brave man.
Oh,
Yeah, very, very much
There's
so.
only one question, Alistair. How many Demons players are there?
Matt Purchase is running Skaven. I'll have you know, Alex.
Is
But,
he? No, he's playing Cathay, isn't he?
No, he's running Skaven.
Oh,
It's there.
okay. All right.
And I will, given that I'm probably not going to be on the episode that you and Tom are going to talk about your own list. I do appreciate your theming, Alex. You've learned from the master of including
Alistair?
names and theming for your
Ask me how
your
long
little
it took me
demons.
to do that.
About 10 seconds of
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Correct. Claude in that instance.
Claude.
But
Yeah,
yes.
Claude.
Oh,
Anyway,
dear.
Chris, your hobby of this week
This week, yeah, we'll fix
is
it.
on the screen.
Fixing my microphone.
Oh, really? Love it.
But it's a new headset,
It is. It is.
which is going straight on tax. Thank you very much.
yeah. We'll delete that part. but
Doesn't
yes.
everything
Yeah.
go
No,
on?
I use.
Yeah,
I
every-
genuinely use it for work
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
because I actually do work, unlike someone.
You should see
Gommo, what
my,
have you been up
you
to?
should see my expenses in my business.
Fiji.
Please.
No, not on a medium
Please.
that people can investigate.
That I'm
What are
sorry.
you doing
That,
for your
That's another
hobby?
reason why I want Old World rankings to go well.
That
How
flight
would
can be
all
claimed,
my
right? He
toys
had
to
a-
be
he had a business
tax
call.
deductible.
business call on a flight. That's a flight that can be claimed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
And you know, me and my wife are thinking doing business class to the UK in May/June. And I'm like, if Old World rankings goes well, I need to go over there.
Couple of French Rivieras.
Unfortunately, that is my sad hobby. And what I mean by sad is that little hut thing is one of the orc. I bought like the orc village from Panda Wargaming. And that's as far as I got painting one of them before the tournament that I ran 2 weeks ago. I just didn't get around to doing it. And then I started airbrushing something in a block. So I cleaned my airbrush again 2 weeks ago, which is laying on the table there. And then just because of my old hammer list, I pulled out a couple of those bestigals that I'd already done that like a year ago, those dudes. So I haven't done anything.
Are those ogres in the
That's all.
background?
Are they what?
Ogres in the background?
No,
Oh.
there's they're ones. They're the what's it called? Strategist. The guy on the
Oh,
left
yeah,
is the strategist from the balloon, and the guy on the right is one of the.
Magistrate? No.
The magistrate.
No, he's like a 3D print from. What's it called? I can't. They start with P. They do a lot of Blood Bowl miniatures. I can't. One of the 3D printing ones. They've got
Yep.
a Cathay
Yeah.
equivalent, and I printed him out to see how close he was. Yeah, and the only reason the bestigal, like the chariot, there is because I painted one of the bestigals. No, not bestigals on the chariot. So I wanted to remember how I painted him. So I can paint the ones that I've got there on the table. But that's all I've done. Like I literally haven't. It's so sad. I have not done anything because of the programming on the other thing, which is shitting me off a bit. But hopefully it'll be
2 weeks
mostly
ago,
done
mate.
this week.
Or pull
Yeah, I know.
Years ago.
a me
Yeah.
and save it to the night before and finish at 3
I
in
mean,
the
the
morning.
good thing is it's forcing me to just play Beastman and just stay with what
Yeah.
I've been playing, and then that's helped me just
Focus.
How
I don't know.
filthy is this list?
Well, now you've got it up there. It's not as. Is it as bad as Alex's? Probably not.
How many
I don't know.
wild
No,
dice?
It's-
nothing's quite as bad as.
Although it's close to, I was almost about to run what Alex has got there by the look of it. But I've got.
have a
Well,
look at
I'll
it.
quickly just say what I've got. I've got my two great Bray shamans. One's elementalism flying around with Voltide and Hagtree. I've got a demonology one with Chalice of Dark Rain, so you can't shoot stuff at me. You also can't fly. Hopefully, if I roll leadership 8. And then the Primal War Herd, 28 gore, so just normal, but Monsters Huntress, whatever it's called, plus reserve move. So that's my demonology, take on objectives and all that sort of crap. 17 Ungors with Standard Bearer as well, because the other thing. My 3 Razorgore. I love my Dragon Ogres. So my Dragon Ogres are there to try and, so you're going to bring 2 units. I'm going to have my unit to do stuff, and then I'm going to kill your other unit with my Dragon Ogres. And then I'm going to have my Bestigor unit sitting somewhere where you'll never get it and stop you flying again, and then take an objective at the same time. So originally, because I screwed up the list, because on Old World Builder or Battle Builder I was using, which is my version, you could take on Wild Herd because it gave you 25 extra, which was wrong. You could take the Arch Lightning Rod on that unit as well. So I had like both anti-fly
the added extra
on
built
that
in.
Vestigal, and I was just envisioning it like putting them in the corner, like finding out where you are, and then just putting them somewhere you're never going to get them, and then hopefully roll re-rollable 8s twice to stop you
So
flying.
upsetting.
But I couldn't do that. Michael correctly fixed me on that. Damn it!
How unfortunate.
Well,
It's going to be a waste. It's a lot of points to sing to something that, but I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just a bit of fun. But, yeah.
And who's your grudge?
Oh, Matt, not Matt, Elf Matt.
Not is it not?
Well,
not
they're all
Matt,
Matt.
or
They're
not,
all
not,
Elf Matts.
Not Matt.
I
Not Matt or not. Which one is it? Yeah,
That's one of them.
it's
The
a
Wood
high
Elf,
elf
not
Matt.
Matt. No, yeah, no, yeah. But he played. I think he's playing high Wood Elves.
Well, Skaven Matt.
No, it's not Skaven Matt.
Well, there's high elf Matt because I think dark elf Matt's now playing Warriors of Chaos.
No, it's not that. It's. I'm pretty sure not Matt has high elves, but he's playing Wood Elves. I think, unless I've got him totally confused.
I don't know
There's
anymore.
too many Matts.
I feel
It's
like
all the same
they need like numeral identifiers now. It's like it's
Yeah.
got to be in order at
Well,
which they've joined the Old Hammer chat. 1, 2, 3,
They
4,
have
5, 6.
tagged themselves by their race that they
This
play.
is true.
So it's like dark elves,
Oh, okay.
high elves.
Have they all? Because
Skaven
I
Matt.
thought them Matt. I don't know. Okay.
Check.
I'll have to
It's
look at
all it's all confusing. But live information. I'm not the only demons player
Oh,
at the
cool.
event. Ish.
All right. Let's
It's-
stop focusing on
No,
on
I know.
Hammer List,
I know. We'll
or
focus in a
this
second.
2-hour podcast is going to turn
Yeah,
into a
I've
3-hour.
actually
I know.
I've got a
But
6
we're
a.m.
saying-
call. Too.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
We'll
All right,
move
move
on.
us on.
But Ish,
us on.
I'm so glad you're coming, mate. He came to the doubles, so it's good to see you back and with the best faction in the game.
Speaking of the best faction in the game, if I'd have come to Old Hammer, we wouldn't be missing them because there are no Dark Elves at Old Hammer. My intention, however, leading into it was a little bit of a throw my hands up in the air and say, fuck it. Because
just
at this point, yeah, kind of. Thank you, Alex. At this point, the extra 100 points for Dark Elves could be sort of cute. But I was intending to run double Black Dragon and take a combat dragon and a sorceress dragon and have a good time. So what I'm going to be working on is a project anyway to keep me interested in what I'm doing, because I mentioned earlier I am extremely slowly working my way through all the Outriders and correcting them and getting the right paints on them and making the horses look slightly different, and just fixing some of the mistakes that I made in my very quick push to get them painted for the last event. I'm getting a bit bored of it, so I need something to excite me again. And so a dragon, given my love for large models, a dragon seems the perfect thing to do. And I was tossing around some different prints and ideas and things, and I wanted to do an Alex and run a model whose wings legitimately would come out this far. It's like a 9-inch wingspan on a dragon that stands this tall and has like a little sorceress hugging the neck. But instead, I'm going to be taking a little bit from Rescale, a little bit from Last Sword Miniatures. I'll be taking that sorceress from Last Sword and plonking her where that rider is on the Rescale Miniatures dragon,
cool.
and having myself a pair of dragons, which is something that I haven't had for Dark Elves before. And very much looking forward to it. The Rescale, guys, for anyone who is looking for dragons, by the way, the Rescale range of dragons
That's around.
They're going to have like 100,
crazy.
right? It's crazy.
They have lots and lots.
Every release has a dragon. Every single month.
and they
has a
have
dragon.
one of the nice things that I like about them on My Mini Factory is the groupings that they do. So if they have a style of dragon that they've differently posed, they will give you the opportunity to buy it for a discount, all of the poses for the dragon as well. So really looking forward to that. But that's sort of kind of beholden on Alex having a bit of free time after Old Hammer to print those for me. That's getting them in play. But that's it. for us, we'll leave it on a high note. We are at 2 hours. Thank you so much for joining us. If you stuck around this long, we very much appreciate you. Quick call out. If you'd like to become a patron for the show, you'll find the link in the show notes or the description of the video if you're watching it or listening to it. Wherever you are, we very much appreciate you. And as I said at the beginning of the show, patrons help keep us online with Riverside, help make sure that we are able to keep producing content and running events like the ones that we were hoping to again do probably September, October. We'll be running another doubles event. So with that, Gommo, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure
thanks
to
for having me.
have you with us. And we will
Say hi to
continue
Richie for us.
Yeah, very much. Do.
I will.
We will continue to shamelessly plug Old World Rankings tournament software
Thank you.
as much as we can. Anyone who's interested in that, we will, of course, put the link to Old World Fanatics and Old World Rankings in the show notes and description as well. So go check them out. But as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions for Gommo and you can't be bothered doing 2 more extra clicks and you just want to leave them in the comments, we'll pass those along so that you can get some answers as well. But that's it. Thank you, boys. As always, we will see you next time.
Cool. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later. Bye.